There's a Rails app out there right now that's leaking data, and the developer has no idea. And this is because the bug is invisible until it bites you, and by then it's already too late. Almost every Rails app I've ever seen has one of these holes, and yours might too. And it's not because you're a bad dev, it's because Rails is so good at letting you move fast that you don't notice cracks forming underneath the hood. The good news is that patching these cracks isn't a week-long nightmare. You can fix them pretty easily and quickly if you know where to look. So here's the plan. I'm walking you through the 5 most common Rails security vulnerabilities. I'm going to show you exactly what they look like and exactly how to fix them. And by the end of this video, you'll have a secure app, so let's get started. Let's get one thing straight. These aren't rare 1 in a million type bugs. According to the OWASP Top 10, basically the worldwide scoreboard for security bugs, 3 of the 5 issues we're about to cover are on that list, and in Rails apps they show up even more often. Mostly because small security settings get skipped when we're in a rush. But the actual scary part is that hackers don't need weeks to find these bugs because they've got automated bots scanning thousands of sites every single day. These bots look for the exact patterns we're talking about, and these Rails apps can be hit just within a few hours of launch. Alright, first up is SQL injection. If you're not familiar with the term, it's basically when you give someone a text box or a URL parameter and they sneak in some special sauce that messes with your database query. Imagine this, you run a coffee shop and the customer says 1 cappuccino and then also give me the keys to the shop. If you don't have a system to block that request, then you've just given away the keys to the shop. Let me show you what that looks like in Rails. Imagine you've got simple search. It looks innocent, right? The problem is if someone types this into the search box, your database basically hears, get me every user where email equals anything at example.com. Or you know what, just give me all of the users. And that's how your entire user list gets dumped in seconds. Now here's the fix, and it's literally just one change. We just need to say user.where email is equal to params email. And when you pass a hash like that, Active Record uses prepare statements under the hood. It treats your input as data and not code, and that means no matter what weird stuff someone types, Rails escapes it automatically so it can't mess with the SQL. If you ever find yourself needing to use raw SQL, make sure you use Rails' sanitized SQL. 9 times out of 10 you can completely avoid raw SQL by just leaning on Active Record queries. This one's sneaky because the app will work fine in development until the day someone decides to have a poke at it. And that day you'll wish you spent those extra 3 seconds to make it secure. Next up is cross-site scripting. It's also called XSS. If SQL injection is about messing with your database, XSS is about messing with your users. Someone finds a way to inject malicious JavaScript into your page, so when another person visits it, their browser actually runs the attacker's code. That code could steal cookies, grab personal info, or redirect them somewhere shady. The classic example is a comment box. Let's say your app lets users leave comments, and you happily display whatever they type back to the page. If someone posts script alert you got hacked, every single person who views that page will get that pop-up. And obviously in this case it's just a simple alert, but in real hacks obviously they would get the data. The good news is that Rails already protects you from most XSS attacks by default. It automatically escapes output in your views. So if a user types script in a comment, Rails will render it as harmless text. But the bad news is that you can turn that protection off without even realizing it. Anytime you use .html safe or the raw helper, you're telling Rails, don't worry, I trust this content completely. And if that content came from a user, you're basically inviting XSS into your app. The fix is to trust Rails defaults. If you generally need to render some HTML, like formatting a blog post, run it through sanitized content first. That strips out any script tags or dangerous attributes, but leaves safe HTML like strong or p. Obviously, if the content is coming from you, the developer, then it's okay. But if it's coming from users and you want to format it, then sanitize it every time. Number 3 is CSRF, or a cross-site request forgery. This one doesn't break into your app directly, it actually tricks your users into doing it for the hacker. Imagine you're logged into your bank's website. In another browser, you visit a blog post with a funny cat video. What you don't see is a hidden form on that page that automatically submits a money transfer request to your bank. And because you're already logged in, the bank thinks it's really you making that request. So that's CSRF. It's using your existing authentication and existing session to send malicious requests without you even knowing. Again, here's where Rails saves the day. By default, Rails includes something called an authenticity token in every form. Think of it like a signature. Your browser gets a unique token from the server, and it has to send it back with every non-get request. If the token's missing or wrong, Rails rejects the request instantly. You've probably seen this in your application controller, protect from forgery, and that's your CSRF shield right there. The problem is that sometimes developers disable it for convenience, maybe during API testing or where they're integrating front-end frameworks, and then they forget to turn it back on. And that's basically like leaving your house unlocked because you need to go get something from the car. The fix is simple. Never disable CSRF for simple forms. For APIs or JSON requests, use a proper authentication method like API tokens or JWTs. Number 4 is called mass assignment, and it's a typical you didn't think they'd try that moment. Mass assignment happens when you let users submit data to create or update a record, and they manage to set fields you never intended them to touch. So imagine you've got a sign-up field that asks for email and password. You take those params and run user.create params user. Everything works fine until a clever user actually inspects the form and adds a field like admin with the value of true, and suddenly they've just created an admin account for themselves. Rails used to be vulnerable to this by default. and this forces you to explicitly whitelist which fields are safe. Now, even if someone tries to sneak in admin true, Rails will ignore it completely because it's not in the permit list. Alright, the last one is possibly the most important one, and it's insecure file uploads. Let's say your app lets users upload profile pictures. Someone uploads kitten.jpg, but what if kitten.jpg is actually a PHP script disguised as an image? On a poorly configured server, that file could get executed, giving the attacker a backdoor straight into your system. Or maybe it's not even code, maybe it's a 5GB image. That's really just junk data filling up your disk space and taking your app down. Rails Active Storage makes file uploads super easy, but it doesn't automatically protect you from every file type trick. And that's where you come in. You need to validate the file type before saving, and then store uploads outside the public folder, so even if a malicious file slips in, it can't be executed by just visiting its URL. And if you're handling anything sensitive like user documents, you can integrate virus scanning gems like ClamAV or services like Cloudinary that scan uploads automatically. Otherwise, one cute kitten could end up owning your entire server. So those are 5 quick fixes and 5 massive security wins. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button. It really helps out the channel. And if you want to see some more Rails videos, then subscribe. Drop a comment below if there's anything you'd like to say. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.